isn't it? It's always really tight.
Yeah, and I think the pleasing thing for me is it's good that you've got Chris Rigg back in the team, because straight away Chris Rigg knows what it's all about, and I think he will bring that little bit of, shall we say, tenacity, a little bit of fire, which, you know, hopefully will rub off on the rest of the players.
And Regis Le Bris did say last week that Chris Rigg is an integral part of the starting 11. This is getting very close to being what I think Regis Le Bris would consider his strongest team.
It will. I think there's one player missing who I think will come in, is Mundell on that left-hand side. And then what you've got to do then, you've got to find the place for Lafitte.
My assumption is he's going to try and move him into the centre of the 10. Yeah,
that's where he needs to play.
Who will miss out then?
Well, that's right.
It could be Patrick Roberts. There is a school of thought that suggests Dan Neil could go in at left back.
Left back? Well,
apparently he's one of the best left backs at the club.
Saying that, we've seen him play there before.
Yeah.
You know, if we go back 2 or 3 seasons, he has played left back. Is he the best left back to play? I don't think so.
Who knows? It's a theory, an hypothesis that has been put out there, but it's clearly someone's going to have to miss out if Regis Le Bris gets to play the players he wants and needs to play. I mean, Salis is going to fit in there somewhere at some point.
At some point, but again, you just think at the present moment, you know, the 3 players who are in the middle of the park deserve to be in the middle of the park. You know, Joe Bellingham, who's in there. You've got Dan Neil, you've got Chris Rigg. You know, they've got an understanding in there. You know, they've got a togetherness in there.
The audio show has been replaced here by a light show, which is de rigueur these days, isn't it? Because everyone's got new computer-generated light systems now in the stadiums, and they're all, I think, everywhere we go now. We seem to
everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
Get that one in. Excellent.
That one in. We do seem to get a light show. Anyway, we're getting a light show now. Let's hear then from Regis Le Bris and his views on the game against Plymouth and tonight's game against Middlesbrough.
Have you reflected, and you will have reflected on the Plymouth game last weekend? I mean, have you reassessed perhaps the events of the afternoon and or the direction that you took in the team that you took?
Yeah, we did a full review this morning, 30 minutes with the players. So plenty of room for improvement everywhere. And yes, it was another tough game because new scenario, new opponent, a massive possession during the first half, especially with a low block to manage. So not an unusual situation for us so far. It happened maybe once or twice, but not often. And to be fair, we created chances during this first period. At the end of the first period, the last 15 minutes. And maybe we were a little bit frustrated during the halftime. We have to do more, we have to create more. But at the same time, if you create more unbalance and we don't score, and at the same time, I think the opponent is more confident with his game plan, and they can feel that maybe they will have 1, 2, or 3 opportunities because the game is long and we can make mistakes, and we did, obviously, because we can't make a perfect game. And they used these opportunities to create chances. So it's still the same idea. We have a young team. They have to face with different challenges. Some of them are maybe easier for our style of play, for our squad, and the way we are playing. And others, we have to improve many elements in our game. So it's still a process, and keep going about this.
I guess it's a stark reminder that you have to be on top of your game in this division. I mean, you've said every time about the opposition, it's a tough league, and every team, I mean, as Plymouth proved, can be, quite obstinate.
Yeah. We watched 2 or 3 clips about their chances this morning, and they played this situation very well. It was impressive. A wonderful cross, a wonderful counter-attack in behind with the save of Pata on the post. It was really, really well played. So they can struggle on the table. It's really clear, but on the pitch, they can make good movements and create chances.
Middlesbrough, a difficult one perhaps to assess because, like you know, they've got players coming and going. Lat looks like he will be gone by Monday night. Not sure if a replacement will be at Borough in time, so it's difficult to know quite how they will approach the game.
Yes, about the players available, maybe, but about the style of play, I think it's clear because the identity is strong, very positive with the ball, dominant. So it will be a tough challenge. Probably it's easier to understand what they want to do, and they can manage different options like an overload on one side, on the other side, so it's possible. But their identity is very strong and very stable, and we know their strength. So maybe it's a little bit easier to prepare, but to execute is difficult because they are doing very well on the pitch. And it will be an exciting challenge for us because we like this feature, and I hope we'll be at the level we were so far. But it's a new challenge, and we always have to reset.
And talking of challenges, you touched on it last week. The window's still open on Monday night when you're at Middlesbrough. Will you be in contact with Christian and Stuart and the others during the game, or is that something you just have to put to one side and concentrate fully on what's happening on the pitch?
Only the pitch. Only the pitch, yes. Probably the last couple of hours, it's too late. Yes, we can be open with the late opportunities, but for me, we have to make our deals before. Yes, sure.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Well, it wasn't so much a light show before. I think they just switched the lights out. But the lights are back on, so's the music. The two teams are out, they introduce themselves to each other, shaking their hands as they go down the line in front of the match officials. The referee tonight, Stephen Martin from Staffordshire, who was in charge earlier in the season when Sunderland beat Burnley 1-0, and he sent off Dan Neil, of course, in the game at the Stadium of Light as the Sunderland players peel off their tracksuit tops. They'll be all white tonight. Middlesbrough, of course, predominantly in all red, as they too take off their tracksuits, and they are away to our left as we look down from the back of the main stand here at the Riverside. Their goalkeeper Mark Travers on loan from Bournemouth, all in yellow tonight. Anthony Patterson away to our right is all in green, his short sleeves as always. Anthony Patterson, and Dennis Serkin has a sprint out into the middle. Trey Hume strolls out across to the far side. Isidore and Lefay, Enzo Lefay, celebrating his 25th birthday.
Welcome to the Riverside Stadium, and let's introduce you to our new player on loan to the end of the season, Kelechi Iheanacho.
So Iheanacho being introduced to the Middlesbrough fans, signing on loan from Seville until the end of the season. Not available tonight, although their other new signing, Samuel Ealing Jr., who's on loan from Aston Villa, he's on the bench for Middlesbrough tonight. Sunderland going into a huddle away to our right. And a full stadium just about. There are some empty seats down away to our left in the lower bowl of the stadium. The Sunderland break from their huddle. They will kick off. They're kicking from right to left in all white as we look down, as I say, from the back of what is the main stand here, as we look out to sea across Teesside, across the industrial landscape, which is blackened tonight. And I can't even see any chimneys. We often used to see flames rising from chimneys across the skyline here, but none tonight. The only flames we saw are actually pitch side here in the build-up to kickoff, as Dan Neil readies himself to get the game underway. The referee, Stephen Martin, as I say, all in black tonight, gets the game started. Dan Neil pushing the ball back to Anthony Patterson, who swings his right foot through it, long up towards Jobe in the Middlesbrough half. Comes down to Neil, back to O'Nien to head on, nodded on by Jobe, looking for Isidore, but hooked away by George Edmondson, the loanee from Ipswich, who's playing to the left of Rav van den Berg this evening in the back four for Middlesbrough. The ball is back with Patterson. He was closed down very quickly by Hayden Hackney, but he's got the ball up to the halfway line. It's won back by Finn Azaz, who this season has created 62 chances, which is the highest number of chances created in the Championship. So now the ball drops down for a throw.
Free kick.
Sorry, free kick on the right.
Yeah.
For Middlesbrough. Ayling takes it very quickly, and it's across to the far side. Ryan Giles, who's on loan from Hull City for the game, comes back into the middle. Aidan Morris, the American midfielder, worked out to the left wing, up to the edge of the penalty area. Bergzorg whips it in. Finn Azaz let it run through here to Ayling, who plays it eventually to the back of the penalty area. Morris's shot is cleared from inside the box. It's still with Middlesbrough. Sunderland can't get it away. Bergzorg on the right side of the penalty area now slips it inside to Whittaker, and it's blocked by Jobe, who's back defending, and it's almost in the corner now where Finn Azaz has got his foot on it, is trying to win it, but it's won back by Enzo Lefebvre, but won again by Middlesbrough, by Ayling. He floated a ball into the penalty area and has eventually come all the way back to the centre circle and played out to the right, but back to Rav van den Berg, who quickly gets it to Morris, looking for the run of Bergzorg, but out comes Patterson and whips the ball away at the feet of the Suriname international. Well, he will be if he actually plays an international game. It will be for Suriname. Sirkin on the left, up over the halfway line. He's looking back over his shoulder, Van den Berg. He's aware that Isidore is there. The keeper's under pressure. Isidore has whipped it off his feet in front of an empty net, but Travers managed to get the ball across to the far side, but it's won back by Patrick Roberts now. Slips it down to Rigg. Rigg trying to get the ball into the penalty area, lost sight of it for a second. Hackney tries to stab it away. Rigg comes back onto it and plays it back now to Chris Mepham. Mepham to O'Nien, and down the left to Lefebvre. Lefebvre has got Whittaker in front of him, plays it back to O'Nien in midfield. In the 4th minute, 0-0 here live on BBC Radio Newcastle, and out wide again on the far side. Roberts taking on Giles, the cross straight into the chest though of Mark Travers, the goalkeeper, who previously had a loan at Stoke.
He'll know Chris Mepham.
He will know
Chris Mepham.
Mepham well. They're both Bournemouth players on loan. Ball being played around at the back by Middlesbrough. Up here now to Bergzorg, tripped by Hume. It'll be a free kick to Middlesbrough in their own half on the left side, quickly taken into the middle and then whipped out to the right wing to Whittaker by Azaz. Now down the right to Ayling, who's in space into the penalty area, looking to pull this back now and headed at Patterson. Very good save from Force, Marcus Force, and then it's smashed in again on the far side by Bergzorg. But that was a free header which was saved.
So much space on this left-hand side.
Ayling was away in acres of space down this right-wing wing for Middlesbrough. So 0-0. Patterson to thank. And here comes Azaz again, looking for Whittaker. Whittaker in the penalty area, a tackle by Sirkin, and it came off the Middlesbrough man for a goal kick.
You just got to be aware on this left-hand side here. You know, Lafay's got to do that defensive work.
So into the 6th minute, 0-0, and Patterson strolling through the 6-yard box, placing the ball in the middle of his 6-yard line between the two centre-backs. And the kick is driven right up through the middle. Job didn't know where it went. It came off his head, drops for Aidan Morris. Tap back to Ryan Giles and out again on the left wing to Morris on the far touchline. Played back in just outside the penalty area.
So Lafay's got to be aware here. You know, Ayling.
I think he's conscious that he's out there somewhere on the wing, but Lafay has gone a long way inside, and now it's played out to Ayling again on the right. Lafay's gone to close him down, but slipped through his legs. And back to Ayling from Whittaker, back again to Vandenberg, and then eventually to Morris in the middle of the Middlesbrough half. Forwards again to Bergzorg, who's come a long way back for the ball. Played out to the left wing by Edmondson, who gets it back from Giles, and back again from Edmondson to the goalkeeper, Mark Travers. Ball at his feet, almost on the penalty spot for Middlesbrough, and then he kicks up to the halfway line, looking for Bergzorg. Up goes Hume with him, heads it into the Middlesbrough half. It comes back from Hayden Hackney, and Edmondson on the far side will deal with this, just keeps it in, slips it to Morris, the corner of the Middlesbrough penalty area. And now picked up by Hackney again and played to Vandenberg.
He's got to be aware of this. Whittaker's just gone in field, hasn't he?
No, he's come back out wide again, Whittaker, and then Sirkin collides with Ayling, who thinks he was fouled. Is protesting, but has to get up quickly. The ball has come back into this zone, if you like, in the Middlesbrough half. Edmondson, Hackney, Hayden Hackney, the Redcar-born 22-year-old midfielder who's come through the ranks at Middlesbrough. Out wide to Giles, tackled by Roberts. The ball comes back to Edmondson, and Edmondson tapping it to Morris. And this still in the Middlesbrough half, just.
Ayling's got to be aware.
It's come back to the goalkeeper, Travers. It's played between him and Edmondson, but Isidore is working to try and squeeze the goalkeeper, who puts the ball out from the kick. Throw to Sunderland just back inside their half on the left-hand side. Played nearly 8 minutes. Patterson's made one very good save from Marcus Force. And Patterson with his right foot on the ball has try and put a bit of a pressure force on Patterson, but he passes it out. It's played out to Hume. He gets the ball back from Roberts, up over the halfway line now to Rigg. He's tackled though. Hackney digs it out for Bergzorg down that left-hand side. Force is cut inside. Bergzorg runs into Mepham, who puts the ball out for a throw to Middlesbrough, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Back to Morris on the halfway line. And Aidan Morris, signed from Columbus Crew in the summer, eventually out to Whittaker on the right wing. And it's won back by Sunderland though, but put out by Sirkin for a throw to Middlesbrough. Luke Ayling will take this just in front of Michael Carrick. And has a quick word with his captain, and then it's back with Edmondson in the centre circle. Leaves it for Vandenberg. Isidore goes to close him down. Now Roberts putting some pressure on Edmondson. It's slipped through to Vandenberg, out to the left wing to Giles.
You've got to get out to him. Somebody's got to get
forced down the left, but it's cut out, intercepted by Hume, put out for a throw to Middlesbrough. Halfway inside the Sunderland half. Back it comes from Giles to Edmondson, just in the Sunderland half. On the halfway line, Vandenberg to Ayling, slips inside of Lafay, looking for Force. Force now gives the ball away to Sirkin. Sirkin twists away from Azaz. It's played out by O'Nien to Job. Job to Hume. Hume wide, then to Roberts, and Hume carries on the run alongside Roberts, then gets ahead of him. Roberts still going, runs into Hackney, and then is tackled, and Hackney comes away with the ball. Roberts is left on the pitch, and it's slipped through here. It's going to be Bergsorg against Patterson, and Bergsorg scores. Just in the 11th minute, Bergsorg put through, and Bergsorg makes it 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, and Sunderland have only got themselves to blame there. Patrick Roberts there, thinking that he was fouled. It was not a foul. He's rolling about, and by that time, Middlesbrough has picked the ball up, and it's a field wide open, a straightforward pass to Bergsorg. 1v1 with Patterson. He slots it away.
So Sunderland now a goal behind in the 11th minute. And Sunderland have to wait while Middlesbrough's players come back celebrating the goal.
You know, Patrick Roberts thinking that he was fouled. It wasn't a foul. He's carrying on rolling over, but it's just one pass.
They were opened up.
One pass by Hackney
too easily,
opened us up.
Yeah. Opened up far too easily. Bergsorg going to make no mistake, his 4th championship goal of the season.
Show some character now.
Away comes Roberts down the right into the penalty area, gets the ball back here from Rigg. But it goes behind for a corner as he tried to pull it back.
Middlesbrough's first goal of the evening, scored by number 10, Delano Bergsorg.
Pushed into the striker's position tonight, Bergsorg, in the absence, of course, of Emmanuel Latte-Lath, who left for Atlanta. But Sunderland have a corner now. Can they get something from this? It's from the right-hand side, and it's, well, the referee's blown. Free kick to Middlesbrough. The Roberts corner.
You've got to say the system what Middlesbrough playing and the way they're playing it are causing Sunderland problems.
Started brightly, haven't they?
Yeah, they have indeed, because all of a sudden, with, you know, especially Lefebvre on this left-hand side, he doesn't know if to go with Ayling, tuck in, and it's leaving wide open space.
Though the irony is the goal came right down the middle. Here's Job trying to find Neil, slips it through, Isidor's offside. Pulls the ball back, but it's a free kick to Middlesbrough. Not even a quarter of an hour played yet. Middlesbrough 1 up. Ball back with Travers. The goalkeeper throws it down to the edge of the penalty area for the free kick. I think Morris is going to take it. Perfect start then for Middlesbrough. It's with Edmondson back to the goalkeeper. Out here to Vandenberg on the right, slips it back to Travers. Then out to the left again, George Edmondson down the left wing. He's given it straight to Patrick Roberts. And Roberts now inside to Dan Neil. Neil slipping it through to Roberts again on the right side of the penalty area, and it bobbles through into the 6-yard box. Nobody there. And the goalkeeper's able to fall upon it quite comfortably. George Edmondson, who actually started the season with Ipswich, he played at Manchester City, but then sent out on loan to the Riverside. Goalkeeper's urging his players to push on. Isidore and Rigg. Well, Rigg drops back. Isidore stands 10 yards away from Travers, who kicks high and long into the Sunderland half, headed away by Mepham. Up towards Rigg, comes down for Roberts, who tries to flick it out to Rigg again on the right touchline. And Rigg taking this on now. Bergsorg's gone back with him, got the ball off him, kept it in, and plays it inside to Morris. Good. Bergsorg, a lot of dew. He runs a lot of, covers a lot of ground. Now out to Ayling again on the right, trying to lift it over the top for Azaz to run onto. It's come back through to Anthony Patterson. There's a lively contingent of Middlesbrough fans behind Anthony Patterson's goal. Sirkin getting away on the left-hand side. It might break for Job. He's tackled by Vandenberg. Job's left on the floor. The referees let play go on. Roberts in the penalty area again. It takes a left foot shot, wins a corner. The Sunderland second corner. Roberts over on the far side. Isidore up in the 6-yard box. Roberts has got Lefay over on that far side, who's dropping back into the penalty area now. And Roberts with his left, it curls in towards, a save. Was it Job's header? It was palmed in the air by Travers, who's got to try and save it off the head of Mepham.
That's not a foul.
That's not a foul by Mepham.
That's not a foul.
The keeper jumped up by the post. If anybody committed a foul there, it was the woodwork. So Travers forced into a save, the header from Job. But in fact, it wasn't. It was Mepham in front of him, wasn't it?
Mepham, yeah,
with the header. But still 1-0 to Middlesbrough. That Bergsorg goal in the 11th minute. The kick upfield. And put out for a throw to Middlesbrough on the far side. Here's Vandenberg. Back to Morris, out to Giles, trying to get around Hume, but Hume manages to hold him off, and Neil had the ball. Now up on halfway, Morris fouls Roberts, and a free kick to Sunderland over on the far side.
Could the driver of vehicle WM23XYA, WM23XYA, and E221LLV, E221LLV, go back to your vehicle immediately, please.
That's you, Marco. Off you go. Anyway, on the halfway line, the ball with Mepham. As Mepham brings it through the centre circle between two Middlesbrough midfielders, finds Job, Sirkin behind him, Lefay outside of him, and Lefay now, Sirkin on the overlap, crosses. It's gone out to the back of the penalty area on the right. Hume to Roberts. Roberts slips it to Neil. Force tries to close him down quickly. Roberts trying to slip it through for Neil again, and he can't quite keep it in, and it's a corner. He's given the goal kick. Neil's not best pleased. He's got words for the assistant on the far side. So now back with Travers strolling across, 6'3" keeper, and just patting the ball to Vandenberg to take the kick back to the goalkeeper. Isidore comes to close him down. He strokes it out to Edmondson. Then Neil closes down Hackney. Job tries to slip it through the middle for Isidore, but Middlesbrough get the ball away. Out here to Whittaker on the right-hand side, and he's lifting one over the top for Force to chase. Mepham's gone with him. Force brings it down, is being forced back out to the touchline. A back heel for Azaz down that left-hand side. He finds Giles, tried to pull it back. It came off the ankles of Neil and came out for Rigg, who just kicks it out into touch at halfway on the Middlesbrough left, just to get the ball clear. In the 20th minute here at the Riverside, Middlesbrough leading Sunderland by 1-0. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. More live football to come, of course, on Wednesday night, the League Cup semi-final second leg between Newcastle and Arsenal. We'll have full commentary of that. Then at lunchtime on Saturday, we are at the Stadium of Light. 12:30 kickoff for Sunderland's game against Watford. What are the odds of Tom Cleverley still being in charge of Watford next weekend? his situation looking increasingly perilous at Vicarage Road.
That's a foul, though. That's a
Rig is
foul.
fouled.
It's a booking.
There's going to be a yellow card for Aidan Morris for the foul. Dan Neil comes forward with a word about something that happened earlier in the game, by the way, that he's pointing back towards the Middlesbrough goal mouth. Still feels aggrieved, I think, that they should have had a corner a few minutes ago. Middlesbrough holding a line 22, 23 yards out. Dan Neil taps the ball forwards to Hume, back to Neil, who sweeps the ball through the penalty area, bounces once near the goal line and behind for a goal kick. The relentless drumming, and they've been dancing up and down the whole game, those Middlesbrough fans behind that goal. It's the first time, is it, the drum has stopped. Ayling down that right-hand side, finds Morgan Whittaker. Then it's tapped on by Azaz for Hackney's run through the middle here now. Bergsorg to his right, Force to his left. Force puts it over. Hume, I think, got back and did enough just to put Force off balance.
I'll tell you what, Nick, you've got to hold your hands up. That was good football by Middlesbrough. But again, we're wide open. You know, he's left Job. He's ran off him. We didn't track him. He drove straight into the heart of Sunderland's defence, created 2v1, and you've got to say, could easily have been 2.
It could have been. Force not happy with himself, but you've got to give credit to Trey Hume getting back. Mepham plays the ball across to Luke O'Nien here now on the left and on to Job. Closed down. Oh, he's definitely. I thought that was a foul by Azaz. Caught Job on the leg, and now Hackney puts it through the penalty area and out behind for a goal kick.
We've said this before, Nick. You know, we've played 20 minutes of the game. You know what the referee's all about. And some of the challenges, he's not going to give free kicks. So don't be rolling over and think you're going to get a free kick. You've got to play to the whistle.
Patterson kicks clear, goes out on the far side. It's a throw to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it's a test of character, Nick. That's what it is. Got to get through this period.
Yeah. Comes back to Morris and Edmondson. Van der Berg at the back as well, but it's swept wider to Ayling in front of Michael Carrick. And down the touchline, Whittaker just taps it round Sirkin. And a foul by Sirkin on Morgan Whittaker. Ayling takes it quickly, he won't be allowed to. He's not very best pleased with Stephen Martin, but he'll have to retake the free kick. We're just trying to keep the ball moving, Middlesbrough, trying to keep pressure up.
Yeah, we've got to get to grips with it, Nick, because at times it's too easy for Middlesbrough to play through us.
So Middlesbrough lead by a goal to 0. Azaz over on this right-hand side. Enzo Lefay is a one-man wall.
Going to defend this free kick.
And Finn Azaz then
great ball.
Whips it in, drops over Mepham, over on the far side. Bergsorg goes across with Sirkin. And now it's played back to Giles, who whips in across, and Force puts it just round the post with a left foot volley. Remains 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, they're very bright, aren't they, Middlesbrough? You know, we've got to get going.
They've obviously talked about the press early on, haven't they?
You know, they've started the game very, very quickly, and they've caught Sunderland out. You know, we've got to step up the tempo.
And the ball is back with Patterson. It's played out to the edge of the area. Riggs going to take this on. Out to Hume on the right, back inside to Mepham, who's bringing this forwards now up towards the halfway line. It comes back to Dan Neil. Neil to Mepham. Across here to O'Nien. O'Nien to Lefay on the touchline, just in front, a few yards away from Regis Le Bris. Back to Dan Neil. Lifts a great ball up through the middle, looking for Riggs' run, but it bounced into the hands of the goalkeeper Mark Travers.
Good run by Chris Rigg.
They can get back in it.
Yeah, they can, but at times I think, they've been too easy for him to play out.
And there's that worry about these quick breaks.
Better.
But now Rig in the middle. He thought about the shot, then changes his mind. The moment has gone, and he's taking the ball back into midfield, then swings it across onto the head of Whittaker. Drops though for Sirkin. Behind him is O'Nien, and it's played out to Lafay on the left touchline. Ayling is just in front of him, and then back to O'Nien. Across to Mepham. Mepham wide to Hume in the 26th minute. Middlesbrough leading 1-0. Neil in the middle now. He's played a lovely ball to Lafay. First time shot, struck low with not enough power to really give Mark Travers any real problem. He comes down falling on the ball quite comfortably.
You just look at that opportunity where the ball's gone into Chris Rig and he's just thinking, go on, drive on and get your shot away.
Shoot, yeah,
and then he decided
to move it across. Ball is cleared to the halfway line for Force. He battles with Mepham, who forces the ball out for a throw to Middlesbrough. Ryan Giles halfway inside his own half on the left to take the throw. Eventually back to Morris just outside the Middlesbrough penalty area, and out again to the left to Edmondson. Edmondson through, it's swept past Marcus Force, and it's come back to Job, who's tripped by Hackney on the halfway line, and it's going to be a free kick to Sunderland. Neil takes it quickly out to Sirkin, and Sirkin back to O'Nien. So O'Nien under pressure from Azaz to Lafay, inside to Neil. Great tackle by Ayling. Ayling gets the ball back again, looking for Azaz down this right-hand wing.
Well done.
And eventually shuffled out by Lafay for a throw to Middlesbrough. 1-0 then still to Middlesbrough. Ayling takes the throw, finds Azaz. It's headed away by O'Nien to Job, who just lifts it into the air. Neil nods it on. Rig plays it out to the left, but a little bit too harshly, and it bounces away from Lafay for a throw to Middlesbrough. Ayling waits for the ball. Luke Ayling, his hair tied back in a ponytail. The 33-year-old, the former Leeds, Bristol City, Yeovil and Arsenal defender. Now with Vandenberg. Out from Morris to Hackney. Back to Aidan Morris. Aidan Morris plays it to the right. Vandenberg drives it down the right wing. Had to be cut out by Sirkin because Whittaker's behind him. Ayling takes a quick throw to Azaz, leaves it for Whittaker. Whittaker in the middle, switches play to the left to Bergzorg. Bergzorg, as Roberts in front of him, finds Giles out on the left of the penalty area. He rolls it back to Morris on the left of midfield, inside to Hackney. And Hackney now through the middle. Azaz, he's got Job in front of him. He plays it behind him. And then Vandenberg finds Ayling on the right to cross. O'Nien heads it out, headed on by Rig, but straight back to a Middlesbrough man. Giles lays it off to Edmondson, to Hackney. Hackney now to Vandenberg, and out wide to Ayling again on the touchline. Drives a low ball into the penalty area. Bergzorg drags his shot wide. He probably should have done better. He wasn't under any particular pressure, but again dragged it wide.
But again, Nick, it's this left-hand side, this right-hand side, which is causing us a problem. We've got to get to grips with this right-hand side. Ayling on this and Whittaker are causing us numerous problems. You've got to even try to stop the delivery coming into the box.
Goal kick then for Patterson, who's drummed up to the ball. Gets it up to Job on the halfway line on the left-hand side. Back comes though to Ayling, and Lafay trying to win it out to Morris, on to Whittaker. Whittaker trying to shake off Job. Job's trying to stay with him. It's slipped inside to Azaz, and Finn Azaz, so it's blocked by Lafay, and eventually out for a throw to Middlesbrough halfway inside the Sunderland half on the right wing. Ayling The ball bounced away from him as he went to catch it. It's flicked back to him by Isidore.
They're playing with a higher tempo than Sunderland.
They're with the press, and they're keeping the ball moved. They're just trying to keep it going,
doing things quickly.
Yeah,
ball goes out, throw-ins,
free kicks all taken quickly.
Yeah, closing down, moving the ball
Giles
side to side quicker with
on the left,
pace.
slips in through the middle. Neil puts his foot through it. It spins in the air. It comes down for Hume, but it's given away. And now Morris will come through the middle again here. Out to Ayling on the right wing for Middlesbrough. Slipped it into Whittaker at the edge of the area. And now Hackney shoots. Long way out. It sails over the Drummers and his mates into the Middlesbrough fans behind Patterson's goal.
You cannot keep giving Ayling all that space on this right-hand side. Sooner or later, one of them balls into the box is going to tell. That's poor.
Clearance out to Morris. Whittaker puts it back to Bergzorg. Bergzorg edge of the penalty area. Giles running in down the left. Comes off the ankle of Hume as he tried to play it in to the box. And away comes Roberts. Roberts looking for the line of Isidore. Vandenberg's gone with him. Isidore still has it wide on the right-hand side. And Bergzorg is back defending and puts the ball out for Sunderland's row. I mean, that he exemplifies Middlesbrough's work rate, Bergzorg.
Yeah.
With Hume now wide on the right, back to Dan Neil. We're in the 32nd minute. Middlesbrough leading 1-0. O'Nien coming forwards down the left here to Sirkin. Sirkin, the corner of the penalty area, pulls it back to O'Nien into the middle to Mepham. Mepham closed down by Force, plays it to Hume to his right. Hume's cross into the box over Job's head. Sirkin recovers it down the left, leaves it for Lefay. Lefay pulls it right into the middle, and Riggs' shot is blocked from just behind the penalty spot. It comes to Neil, who shoots, and he scores! Dan Neil in the 32nd minute.
Excellent.
Smashed it in past Travers. Well worked back in, and Dan Neil from 19 yards has equalised for Sunderland.
Excellent strike. And that's what they needed. They needed, when we get the opportunity, we talked about when the ball went to Chris Rigg, to drive and trying to get his shot away. We've got to quicken things up. Good finish by Dan Neil. But what about Lefay? He picks the ball up on his left-hand side and he's trying to pick Chris Rigg out. His shot gets blocked. It falls back to Dan Neil, and a great finish.
He took it well, kept it low, and left Travers with no chance of saving it. Dan Neil and his teammates, four of them down with Regis Le Bris, walking back into their own half. And Neil saw the opening. In fact, it came off the defender, didn't it? Off Edmondson.
Yeah, it did. That's a lucky need.
Yeah,
but I think that's what we need, just to wake up a little bit.
Yeah. The goalkeeper left leaden-footed then. He couldn't react to the ball coming off Edmondson as he was trying to clear it behind. Will that be given as a Neil goal or own goal? It's 1-1 though. That's what's fundamentally it's given as Dan Neil at the moment, but these things can change. Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1.
Oh, well done.
And,
excellent play, Chris Mepham.
Mepham.
If he meant that, that's fantastic.
Coolly plays the ball back and out to the left. Sirkin to Lefay. And back to O'Nien. The long ball played up over the top, looking for Isidore. Edmondson heads the ball away. Giles again kicks it high above the floodlights. It comes back through them, through the lights, and then down to Roberts. Slips it inside to Dan Neil, trying to get it to Job in the middle. Intercepted, comes out to O'Nien. O'Nien down the left to Isidore. Lets it run for Sirkin. He does well to keep it in. Crosses. Good ball. Roberts looking for it on his left, and half volley straight at the goalkeeper.
Unlucky.
That was difficult for Roberts to control that and get the shot away. In the end, comfortable save for Mark Travers. 35th minute, Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Roberts again looking for it inside to Hume, tackled by Force, and then Hackney is out there with Neil. Neil's getting stuck in, and Sunderland win the free kick for a foul on Hume. This on the touchline on halfway. Didn't look as though there was much contact then, but the referee has given the. Yeah, it must have been some sort of. Wasn't a kick. Sirkin back to O'Nien, out to Lefay, quickly to Jobe, flicking it on, but back comes Morris. Gets the ball away off Lefay for a throw to Middlesbrough on the right-hand side, all square at the Riverside. This game's always tight, but Sunderland haven't won a league game here since 2005. 3 defeats and 3 draws. Ayling throws it back to Edmondson in the penalty area, closed down by Isidore, kicks up through the middle. Both Force and Mepham tumble down. The ball comes back to O'Nien, who passes it out to to Sirkin on the left. And a lovely dummy by Enzo Lafay to try and get away on the left touchline. Slips it inside to Jobe, and Jobe now trying to get away from Whittaker into the middle to Dan Neil, and this is much better football from Sunderland. It slipped into Rigg in the penalty. No penalty, says the referee. He took a look at it, but he's not given a penalty. Rigg picks himself up. He's not complained, Chris Rigg. And the ball is back with the goalkeeper.
He's starting to get a grip of the game.
Played their way into the game yet again, Sunderland. It's back with Travers, out to Vandenberg on this right-hand side, back to him, the goalkeeper Travers out to Morris. Morris, the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area, closed down by Isidore, playing it out through the middle. Azaz, it's given away by Hackney. Roberts now coming down the right side of midfield. Hackney nearly pulled him down. Roberts into the penalty area, slips it to the right for Hume to cross over Isidore's head, and out for a throw to Middlesbrough. But they are starting to get in behind Middlesbrough now and cause them a few problems. Stretching Middlesbrough a bit. Ayling coming across again.
No rush now, either.
No, suddenly slowed it down, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're trying to take the sting out of Sunderland now. Vandenberg kicks up to the halfway line. Mepham and Bergzorg wrestle each other. The ball pushed on into the Sunderland half, but back comes O'Nien, and then he's barged out over the touchline by Bergzorg. It's a throw to Sunderland. Sirkin comes down, bends over and picks the ball up. 38th minute here, all square. Sirkin's throw came off Morris, didn't know much about it. Ayling heads it on, headed on again by Azaz to Force, who plays it across now to Giles. Giles trying to slip it round Roberts, who's trying to get in front of Ryan Giles. He slipped it into the penalty area to Bergzorg. Bergzorg tried to get it through to Azaz, but Mepham clears it, and Roberts is looking to try and break down the right if he can get away from Hackney. But the ball's gone out. And the Middlesbrough give him the throw. Now with Vandenberg. Vandenberg out wide to Ayling. Ayling just inside the Sunderland half, tried to find Whittaker. Lefay's got it inside to Jobe. Isidore, back to Jobe, just behind him. And Jobe bringing this up to the halfway line, turning and playing it back to Luke O'Nien. Across to Mepham, inside the Sunderland half still. And Mepham in the centre circle to O'Nien. O'Nien on down the left to Sirkin. Sirkin slips it to Lefay, out on the touchline, back to O'Nien. And O'Nien into the middle to Mepham. Mepham to Hume. Hume out to Roberts on the far side, halfway inside the Middlesbrough half. Middlesbrough all in red, Sunderland all in white. And it's with O'Nien again. Out to the left, Lefay. Lefay has Whittaker in front of him. Sirkin behind him. He goes into the middle to Neil. And Neil turns, trying to shake off Azaz. Comes down this left-hand side, leaves it for Sirkin. Sirkin back to Lefay, inside to Jobe. Jobe then to Mepham, who shoots from a long way out and it bobbles wide. Never going to trouble Mark Travers. Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1 in the 40th minute, 5 minutes to half time. Sunderland have played themselves into the game after a very, very pacey, quick start by Middlesbrough, who scored after 11 minutes. Next up, Middlesbrough. They don't have a game next weekend because of the FA Cup. They were knocked out of that by Blackburn here. So they play Sheffield United next at Bramall Lane on Wednesday week. Ball in the air. It's nodded on by Job to the right. Roberts looked to try and get Isidore away. It's come back down deep into the Sunderland half, played back to Patterson. Bergsorg sprinting across to try and put Patterson off, but he's got it out to O'Nien on this left-hand side. Zaz has gone with O'Nien, who plays it back to Patterson. Patterson kicks wide, right, and it's out.
That's his kicking. He's got to do better. Just puts you under pressure.
It's a throw to Middlesbrough. A third of the way inside the Sunderland half in the 42nd minute. 1-1 on halfway. Here is Morris to Hackney to Giles down the left wing. Hume in front of him. Giles comes back now to Morris. Morris then to Azaz, and then Ayling eventually on this right-hand side, trying to come inside to Morris again, looking for Whittaker. Hauled down, says the referee, by Lefay. It's going to be a free kick to Middlesbrough in the middle virtually of the Sunderland half. Referee having a word with the two Middlesbrough men over the free kick. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. Jared Bowen with that goal for West Ham. Azaz is over the free kick. He's going to take it for Middlesbrough. Ayling is up at the edge of the penalty area, leaving Giles back in the middle. It's floated in through the box. Force thinks he was pulled down, or is it Edmondson thinks he was pulled down? The referee's giving nothing. It's a goal kick to Sunderland. Just a few minutes till half time. Patterson's waving everybody upfield. Places the ball towards the right of the 6-yard line. Everybody across on the far side. Patterson with the kick. Over halfway, out to the touchline. Headed in. Edmondson heads it forwards. Up goes Job. Heads it down. It comes back to Sirkin in the middle. Lovely little back heel from Lefay, trying to get Sirkin onto it and through. But Middlesbrough get the ball clear. Back up into the Sunderland half, where Mepham heads it to halfway. Then Whittaker lays it off to Azaz, who holds off Rigg, but Hume just puts his foot through it, back into the Middlesbrough half. Hackney trying to get through the centre circle, but Neal's stuck with him. Hackney has to play it back to Edmondson, who rolls it down the left wing to Giles. Roberts in front of him, and then back to Hackney again. Now Van den Berg through the middle to Morris, and Morris trying to lift it up for Force to run onto, but O'Nien heads it away, intercepted that just outside the penalty area. Neal battling for it. Mepham manages to get the ball out. Job runs onto it now and plays it out to the left wing here to Lefay. Ayling is in front of him. A lovely little touch from Lefay, which gets Sirkin away down the left here. Beautiful skill from Lefay. Sirkin's ball through the legs of Van den Berg, but easily cleared by Middlesbrough. Out to Whittaker. Played back here now to Morris. Morris having to come through the middle. Slips it up to Bergsorg on halfway. O'Nien pulls him down, or tried to. O'Nien's going to get booked. No question. There was a variety of offences there from Luke O'Nien, one of which Giant Haystacks would have been proud. Free kick on the halfway line, just left of the centre spot for Middlesbrough. We've got seconds left at the 45, and the fourth official, James Bell, shows us a minute at the end of the first half, of which now there is only 45 seconds. Middlesbrough on halfway. Vandenberg with the ball, slips it to Azaz, quickly out to Ayling on this right-hand side. Back inside to Azaz as he's closed down by Lafay. It breaks for Whittaker. He plays it across straight to the path of Roberts. Roberts now trying to get away from Whittaker, who nearly pulled him down. Swings a ball down the left here for Isidore. Isidore's offside.
I don't think he was offside there.
Do you not think he was?
No, not at all.
Whipped out by Roberts down the left. Flag comes up on Isidore. 10 seconds of the minimum minute left. Travers is coming out with the ball.
Looking at it again.
It's hard to say because the angle's not right for us here, is it?
There.
Marge, very tight. But this will probably be the last kick of the first half. Indeed it is. The half-time whistle blown by referee Stephen Martin. Teams going level at the break, 1-1. Delano Bergzorg's well-taken goal after 11 minutes, put through by Hayden Hackney. Sunderland grew into the game, an equaliser in the 19th minute. Dan Neal, 19 yards out, low shot that cannoned in off George Edmondson, the centre-half, to bring the teams level. They are now, I'd suggest there's not much between them now at the break, now that Sunderland worked their way back into the game.
Yeah, but we've spoken about this before, Nick. You know, we've seen this time and time again where Sunderland, you can say slow starters at times, and sometimes we've mentioned about how they've grown into the game, and then slowly but surely, especially in the second half, they seem to take over and start to dominate the game. And we've seen that today. It was a quick start by Middlesbrough. You know, everything they did, they played with a high tempo, and we struggled to, shall we say, to match it. You know, especially on this their right-hand side, it seems as though they were getting in all the time, Ayling. But as the game's gone on, we started to get to grips with it. Ayling's not getting us forward as much as they were, and then we've got that equaliser, and you just got to say it's evenly balanced at the moment, and it's important. You know, Regis Le Bris will, shall we say, hopefully get one or two of the situations sorted out in the changing room, and second half come out and play.
So those are the first half thoughts of Gary Bennett. We're going to get the first half thoughts of Marco Gabbiadini in just a moment. The second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At the break, it is Middlesbrough 1, Sunderland 1.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
This morning I spoke to Golden Globe winner and Oscar nominee screenwriter Peter Strawn from right here in Gateshead. Peter, do you like going to these glitzy award ceremonies?
It's fantastic and it's exciting. But, you know, as a writer, you spend 99% of your time by yourself in a room. So it's a bit like Gollum being let out of the cave to suddenly be in the award season. It's a bit bewildering.
They wonder who that guy is at the buffet with a chicken vol au vent going, my precious. Oh, don't worry, it's Peter from Gateshead. He spends a lot of time in a dark room. Hear our full chat on BBC Sounds, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Newcastle.
And this is Simon Pride back in the Total Sport studio. So 1-1 at half-time. Delano Bergzorg putting Middlesbrough ahead. Dan Neal with that deflected effort, equalising for Sunderland. We will bring you the second half in around about 15 minutes' time. In the Premier League, West Ham United are 1-0 up at Chelsea. And in a few moments, we'll round up everything that's been happening on transfer deadline day. The window shuts at 11 o'clock. So if you've missed any of the details, there's obviously still deals ongoing. We will bring you right up to date in just a tick. But first, let's just get a few thoughts from the former Sunderland striker Marco Gabbiadini, who is at the Riverside, having witnessed that first half. A first half, Marco, in which I guess they started slowly but finished more strongly.
Yeah, I think, Middlesbrough came out with a point to prove. There were quite a few changes in the side. They were, on the front foot. There was good movement. They were rotating a lot. Bergzorg, he started out wide, keeps coming inside, and quite often we were finding ourselves with Mepham and Unai each having a man to mark and a little bit of an overload. I think also, Middlesbrough were doing a bit of a blanket job of pressing on us when we were trying to play out from the back. And, for 20 minutes it worked for them. But, one thing that we did do well, we carried on playing, we carried on moving the ball quick as we could, and I think we played our way into it, and the icing on the cake is getting the goal back.
I can hear in the background Julio Arca, formerly of Sunderland and Borough, of course, being introduced on the pitch. There was a little bit of a complaint from Sunderland, from Patrick Roberts in particular, that he was fouled before Borough went on to score. Yeah. What did you think?
I thought it was a foul. I think he got a foul twice, actually. I thought the first lad, when he first received the ball, the lad clattered him in the back of his calf, so he got a touch of the ball, but he was already impeded, and then he stepped away from it and got clattered again. So I think it's a kind of decision that, probably 9 out of 10 times is a free kick. So, but, as I said, when they won possession back, they were quickly onto the front foot, and they had players, Bergzog, he'd come in off his flank and he ran straight down the middle of us and caught us by surprise.
What's your instinct, Marco? Will they go on and win it second half, Sunderland?
Well, I've just messaged a Borough friend of mine that I think they've shot the bolt. I think that kind of pressure that they were putting on, you can only do it so long, and they were doing it, they were playing high. They might come out the second half and start again like that, but if Sunderland continue to be brave enough to play out, I think they will get through that press. I mean, one key factor for me, and I'd written it down just about after about 20 minutes, was, Lefay never hardly had a touch in that first 20 minutes. And we've seen in them go on to have some really nice touches. And for me, Ayling is the weak link at the back for them. But we haven't got him isolated enough. And when we have, Lefay made a lovely pass to Chris Riggs that led to the goal, laid it into his path for a side-footed shot. I think that little bit of, that little bit of eye for an opening is what we need. We need to get the ball to him more.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for the moment. That was the former Sunderland and Middlesbrough midfielder Julio Arca being interviewed on the pitch there, with Marco Gabbiadini almost just about heard in the background as well. You've got the PA announcer prior to the match and during half-time, and then that blooming drum during the game as well. Lots of unwelcome noises at Middlesbrough, let's put it that way. Back for the second half shortly. If you'd like to send us a message at any time during the course of the evening, and don't forget we're going to be on air until 10:30 tonight, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp, 81333 on text. Start all of your messages with the letters BBC. And after the game, if you want to give us a call, 0800 234 6565 is the phone number. So it is transfer deadline day. The window closes in just over 2 hours' time. And of course, here at BBC Radio Newcastle, we've been keeping a close eye on developments. I say we, more down to BBC Radio Newcastle's Liam Milburn, who's joined me in the studio. Evening, Liam.
Evening, Friday.
So, lots going on, including from a Sunderland perspective. There has been a little bit of activity, but there could have been more.
Yeah, there could have been. The big story today has been Tommy Watson, the 18-year-old, only made 12 Sunderland appearances, but a lot of talk today that he could move to Brighton. They have made bids over the weekend. There's been further bids today. There's been rumours that he's made the trip down towards Brighton, a medical, all that sort of stuff. Sunderland have stood firm, though. They've rejected those bids. There was talk that they wanted Simon Adingra on loan as a make-weight as part of that deal. None of that has happened, which means that Casey McAteer from Leicester, whose name was also mentioned, that hasn't come off. So Tom Watson remains a Sunderland player for now. That deal looks like it's done and as in dead, not going to happen. So that's that. Jayden Danns is a player who we think is going to join Sunderland with nobody going the other way. He plays for Liverpool. He's 19-year-old. He's the son of the former Crystal Palace midfielder Neil Danns. Jayden Danns has played 9 games for Liverpool's first team and scored 3 goals, all of those in the FA Cup. Comes with quite a bit of pedigree, comes as a hot prospect. We expect that deal to go through before 11 o'clock. It's been in the works. He's been on Wearside. We think it's going to happen fairly soon. In terms of one other little thing on Wearside, Nathan Bishop, the goalkeeper, he spent the first half of the season at Wickham but played just twice, and he's now joined bottom of League One side Cambridge on loan.
Okay, what about Newcastle United? This won't take long, will it?
It really won't, no. Lloyd Kelly, it's been rumoured for a little while now. It has now gone through. He's completed a loan move to Juventus, which includes an obligation to buy in the summer. So basically, he's effectively no longer a Newcastle player. Newcastle said undisclosed fee. Juventus have very much disclosed the fee. They've said £14.5 million, which is the fee. That could go up by another £5.4 million due to certain bonuses and performance objectives. So you're looking at a package of around £19-20 million for a player who's only played, I think, 7 starts and 7 sub appearances. So not bad for a free transfer. I think Newcastle fans will wonder where that money has gone because of PSR. No players coming in, no more players going out. A quiet window and a quiet day for Newcastle.
And what about elsewhere? I mean, lots going on, so I'll let you pick and choose the tastiest morsels, Liam, to tell us about.
Matthias Tell, exciting 19-year-old striker from Bayern Munich. Yeah. He's set to join Spurs on loan. He turned down a permanent move earlier in the week. Now he's going on just a straight-up loan deal, no permanent clause afterwards. It's been a busy day for them. It's been a busy weekend. They signed Kevin Danso from Lens. They've been looking at other centre-halves because Radu Dragusin's now out with a torn ACL. They had a bid turned down for Mark Gahey this morning. Our friend Mark Gay, who almost came to Newcastle in the summer. He's not going to Tottenham. That bid was turned down.
Is he ever going to go anywhere?
I don't know. I think has he only got 1 year left on his Palace deal?
Maybe the end of that.
Yeah, maybe in the summer. Maybe this was Palace's last chance to get big money, but they've turned down £70 million. Maxime Esteve from Burnley's been linked. Axel Dizazi was linked, but it looks like he's now going to Aston Villa, who've had a busy day. They've signed Marco Asensio from PSG on loan. Obviously, Marcus Rashford joined over the weekend as well. So Villa's team, starting to look like a big squad now, starting to fill up certain areas that they were lacking in. Manchester City, they've been the big spenders of the window, £130 million spent so far. They could add another £50 million to that today because Nico Gonzalez from Porto is going to fill that Rodri gap that they've had so sorely missing all season. So that's likely to happen soon. Manchester United doing absolutely nothing. The only thing that they've got in the pipeline is a player departure for Tyrell Malacia. João Felix hasn't worked at Chelsea again. He's now looking to go on loan to Milan. Brighton have spent big, €25 million on a 19-year-old who's not even joining until the summer. Jeff Schlupp set to leave Crystal Palace for Chelsea. We're getting into the weeds now. I think there's one move that I've seen that's just popped in the last hour or so, and that's for Samuel Chukwueze, who played for Milan against Newcastle last season. The name. Yeah, exciting Nigerian, direct winger. Fulham have been linked with a late move in the last hour or so, so that's one to keep an eye on. There's always one move that kind of pops out of nowhere, and that looks to be the one, if anything does happen, that could be to keep an eye on. But little things happening. I think there'll be a busy flurry of activity over the next couple of hours. But yeah, Newcastle and Sunderland, we're just waiting on Jayden Dance, and then that should kind of be it.
That will probably be it. But keep an eye on things, Liam, because you never know, do you?
Never know.
Okay, that's Liam Milburn there, keeping an eye on all things transfer window, and Liam will be back with us between the end of the match and when we go off air at 10:30, just to tell us if anything else has happened. If you would like to have your say, remember that you can send us a message on WhatsApp on 08000 321 333. Start your message with the letters BBC, and you can send us a text on 81333. Again, begin your message BBC. I'll be able to put your messages to Benno and potentially Marco, depending on how long he hangs around at the end of the game. I'm wondering whether I've got time to play you some reaction from the FA Vars match at the weekend. I'll tell you what, if the second half looks like it's going to start, we'll cut into this. But I just wanted to bring you a bit of Brian Smith, the North Shields manager. They led 1-0 in their FA Vars fifth round tie at the weekend against Whitchurch Allport. But then they went 2-1 behind by half time. That's how it stayed. Afterwards, Brian Smith, their manager, spoke to our reporter Paul Dixon.
I had a couple of chances, as they did, but it was a close game. I think, like we spoke about, they just edged it on the day. It is what it is. Disappointing, hugely disappointing, but just got to think about where we are and where we've come from in the last year, which has been eventful. So, disappointing.
You've had a fantastic run. You've won some really big games, and the club's just got to move on. I mean, we spoke to the chairman before the game, and he's very excited what's happening at North Shields, and I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, well, when we look back, it's like January last year, and it was like we've had to build 2 teams since then, and we've got a great bunch. It was just disappointing today, but yeah, we've just got to keep on. We've just got to get on with it, and then can we get some success out of the season? And there's a League Cup there to be had as well, so let's have a pop of that now. I think that's the only way you can look at it, Dicker.
Commiserations there to North Shields. Then they were our last remaining team in the FA Bars, but they went out at the weekend. One other piece of football news from today: Carlisle United have sacked their manager Mike Williamson. So the second half from the Riverside is coming up next. Can Sunderland progress, having got back into the game, having gone a goal down, and go on and win the thing? Barnsley and Benno will tell you after this.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Roberts still going, runs into Hackney, and then is tackled, and Hackney comes away with the ball. Roberts is left on the pitch, and it's slipped through here. It's going to be Bergsorg against Patterson, and Bergsorg scores. Just in the 11th minute, Bergsorg put through, and Bergsorg makes it 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Humes cross into the box, over Job's head. Sirkin recovers it, down the left, leaves it for Lefay. Lefay pulls it right into the middle, and Riggs' shot is blocked from just behind the penalty spot. It comes to Neil, who shoots, and he scores! Dan Neil in the 32nd minute.
Excellent.
Smashed it in past Travers. Well worked back in, and Dan Neil from 19 yards has equalised for Sunderland.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And I've watched the Middlesbrough goal again, and there was clearly not just one. I think you can argue there were 2 fouls on Patrick Roberts in the build-up to that.
Yeah, but you still had a long way to go from that as well. Yes, a foul or not foul, but the worry for me was how open we were. One through ball by Hackney, which opened us up, and it was a good finish by the lad.
Yeah, they did start brightly, Middlesbrough, and it took until just after the half hour for Sunderland to score an equaliser, albeit it did come off George Edmondson, but they grew into the game. And now a question of what has been said or what's changed possibly at half-time for Regis Le Bris' team to try and go on and win the game this evening. 1-1 then at the start of this second half. Middlesbrough playing from right to left in all red as we look down from the back of the main stand, and the ball at the moment on halfway. Sunderland all in white as O'Nien tries to hook the ball down the left wing for Enzo Lefay, but Mark Travers, the on-loan goalkeeper from Bournemouth, all in yellow, comes out and clears into the crowd on the far side. The drummers started again, the relentless drummer, as the ball comes back to Mepham in the centre circle, and then down the left, trying to get, well, there was a big push, it looked like, on Lefay. The ball goes out, the referee's letting all those sort of challenges go. It's a throw to Middlesbrough on the right, halfway inside their own half. Back from Ayling to Vandenberg, the goalkeeper Travers, and then George Edmondson. He clears past Bergsorg up towards Force, and Hume wins it and plays it to the left. Lefay lays it off behind him to Sirkin, back into the centre circle to Luke O'Nien. Job nearly sold the pass a bit short for Azaz, but he got to him, and Job pulls the ball back to Mepham, who plays it back to Patterson, away to our left in his short sleeve green top, his green kit, just outside the penalty area. He drives the ball down the left wing, looking for the run of Lefay, but it's headed by Vandenberg out into midfield and eventually up towards Hackney, who's fouled by Dan Neil. And a free kick to Middlesbrough on the left of central midfield. Hackney takes it, Hayden Hackney, back to Morris, Aidan Morris, defensive midfielder, plays it across to Luke Ayling on the right wing, who swings a ball up to the edge of the Sunderland penalty area, straight to Anthony Patterson. Patterson pausing for a moment with the ball at his side, then rolls it out to Luke O'Nien on the left. Azaz goes to close him down, but it's played back by Sirkin to Patterson, out through Dan Neil, who skips around, twists away from Hayden Hackney, gets the ball to Lefay, out to Sirkin, back again to O'Nien on the left-hand side. 48th minute of the game, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. O'Nien comes away with this over the halfway line. Nice ball played in to Lefay, into the middle to Rigg, back then to Job just behind him, and quickly out to Patrick Roberts on the right wing. Two defenders in front of him, and Roberts dribbling at them and then cutting across the back of the penalty area. Goes round one, then two. He's nearly tackled by Azaz, but the ball comes back to Neil, and no O'Nien. Neil again. Neil trying to find Job. Job battles with Morris. Morris trying to get a foot to it. Job looked as though it bobbled off his arm, but it's come out eventually to Mepham, and it's out for a throw to Middlesbrough on the left-hand side. The flag finally comes up for the throw. And I think literally after it left Ryan Giles's hands, and then out wide to the right-hand side. Ayling back to Vandenberg, Morris, and lifts it over Patrick Roberts' head out to the left wing to Ryan Giles, the defender on loan from Hull City, who was here previously on loan when he was at Wolves, but then signed for Luton for a season before joining Hull last summer. Now with O'Nien, back to Patterson. Patterson to O'Nien again. O'Nien bringing this up to the halfway line, into the Middlesbrough half. Whittaker tackles him. The ball shoots off the Middlesbrough man into touch for a Sunderland throw. Sirkin back to O'Nien, into Dan Neil. Neil forwards to Job. Job to Mepham. Closed down by Bergzorg. Azaz on the hunt for the ball, but O'Nien trying to get it down the left wing to Sirkin. Ayling heads it away down the right, and Whittaker has got to get around O'Nien, but O'Nien's got in front of him and passes it back to Patterson. Force goes to close him down, Marcus Force, but it comes back up towards halfway, and the loose ball played through onside Isidore. Isidore on his own against the goalkeeper, goes round the keeper and makes it 2-1 for Sunderland in the 50th minute.
By the way,
what a break, what a ball through for Isidore.
Fantastic
the flag stayed down this time, and Wilson Isidore nets his 10th goal of the season.
By the way, give that goalkeeper some money to pay to get back in. He has sold him. Oh, what a finish. So calm.
He held his nerve, Isidore. He took the keeper on, went around him and rolled it in to the empty net. And Sunderland lead by 2-1 in front of the 29,161 at the game tonight.
How cool was that finish?
The ball slipped through to him and he was away. And he's so cool. Just waltzed around the goalkeeper and rolled it in.
But again, who played the ball through? Lefay, wasn't it?
Lefay, yeah.
Tell you what, his passing is unbelievable.
He's a very, very good player.
He's got a fantastic vision.
So, 2-1 to Sunderland. 5 minutes into the second half. We have the restart now, finally. As Wilson Isidore, who's just signed that new contract at Sunderland, celebrates 10 goals this season. Could, of course, had a couple more, but that's for another day. And the game underway with Middlesbrough back in their own half at the moment. Neil trying to win it. Azaz. It's back out to Ayling on the right-hand side. Back again to Mark Travers, all in yellow, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. Played out through the middle here. Morris to Vandenberg. Vandenberg to Hackney, trying to find Whittaker. And now Ayling back into the middle. And out to Giles on the left-hand side. Giles trying to get away down the left wing. The ball rolls out for a throw.
Well done.
To Sunderland. Game management, as we always say now.
Yeah.
If Sunderland could get a third, that would be good news. Throw which will be taken on this right-hand side by Trey Hume. Deep in his own half, down the line it goes. Comes to Hayden Hackney. Has it gone out? It's gone out for a throw again to Sunderland. Roberts is going to leave the ball for Hume. 10 yards down from Regis Le Bris. And Isidore heading the ball inside to Rigg, and now Job. Job to Le Bris, stabs it to Job again. Now Sirkin, low ball, Isidore. Oh, it comes back out. A save from Rigg by the keeper. Flag came up anyway. Which has saved Isidore's blushes there.
I tell you what, great football.
But thankfully,
that deserved the goal.
Yeah, it deserved the goal, but it's not gonna. It wouldn't have counted. But Middlesbrough suddenly look a far cry from the side that started the game tonight. Sunderland lead 2-1. Job stumbling through, kept his feet, but then lost the ball. And Hayden Hackney is caught by Rigg. It's a free kick to Middlesbrough, just outside their penalty area on the right of midfield. Now with George Edmondson, Giles down the left wing, Bergzorg under pressure from Hume, gets it back to Edmondson, and then Morris across to Vandenberg, and wide again to Luke Ayling, on to Morgan Whittaker, who puts the ball out. It's a throw to Sunderland, halfway inside their own half on the left-hand side in the 55th minute here at the Riverside.
That move deserved the goal, didn't it? Great play by Sunderland.
When they're in that sort of form, they're imperious, aren't they? It's beautiful to watch. Here they come again. Rigg out to Hume. It's the Sunderland fans now you can hear in the far corner. 2,200 in this crowd of 29,000 plus. And the ball back in the centre circle with Mepham. Rolls it to his left to Luke O'Nien and floats one down the left wing looking for Sirkin. And it's stabbed away by Ayling and then hooked on down into the Sunderland half by Whittaker. But O'Nien has sprinted back, turns it away forwards to Dan Neal. Neal now on the left. Hackney tried to tackle him, drives the ball out. It's a throw to Sunderland, quickly taken by Le Bris. Back to Neal on the touchline. Little ball through now to Sirkin, leaves it for Le Bris inside to Job, who swings the ball out wide, looking for Roberts. Takes it down on his left foot, slips it down the right of the penalty area now to Chris Rigg. Rigg back to Roberts, sweeps the ball into the box. It drops, sweeps past Job and Isidore. Neither who could make contact for a goal kick.
Tell you what, they've got a little bit of swagger about them now, haven't they, Sunderland?
Yes, they have. So everywhere we go, the Sunderland fans sing. Mark Travers with the kick, goal kick for Middlesbrough. Headed on by Marcus Forsfield. It'll be out for a throw to Sunderland. In fact, to Middlesbrough. It just came flicked off.
It is Sunderland's
flow. I thought it was. I thought he took it with such certainty. Went to take the throw with such certainty, Bergzorg, and the flag wasn't raised by the assistant. Hume will take the throw now for Sunderland, to Roberts, to Rigg, now to Job again. Job getting away through the middle here with Sirkin and with Le Bris. Le Bris has Ayling in front of him and just slips it inside to Job. Job now just rolling it to the left again to Sirkin. Sirkin again looking for Le Bris. Will he be beaten by the pace of the ball, Le Bris, as it rolls behind the goal line for a goal kick
They've got problems. Middlesbrough, they're going to make a change. And
yes, they are going to make a change. It's not happened for them at the start of this second half, Middlesbrough. Sunderland have swarmed all over them. Goal kick, which Travers kicks long up towards the halfway line, and it's headed down by Hume and out over the head of the Finn Marcus Force for a throw to Middlesbrough, which Ryan Giles takes back to George Edmondson, then Morris, and Morris across to Vandenberg, wide again to Ayling. Ayling down the right wing, swings across in, looking for Force, caught by Patterson off the Finnish international's head.
Great take, excellent.
And the player coming on,
Junior, is it?
Is the new signing Samuel Ealing Jr. on loan from Aston Villa.
Oh, silly.
As the ball given away here, and Hackney drives one into the net. 18 yards out. Hayden Hackney equalises in the 59th minute.
I don't know what Sunderland are doing. You know, the ball into Joe Bellingham there. It wasn't the best of ball. He's had his pockets picked, and you've got to say it's a tremendous finish by Hackney. But that was poor.
Dropped to Hackney, 18 yards out. He drove it low into the bottom left-hand corner.
Middlesbrough's second goal of the evening, scored by number 7, red pass, Hayden Hackney!
So it's all square again. Azaz is the player that's coming off for Ealing Jr.
Substitutions by Middlesbrough, bringing off number 20, Finn Azaz. He's walking to the riverside, number 29, Substitution brought to you by
Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. Hayden Hackney's 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, we've got to get ourselves to blame.
Yeah, exactly. Sunderland give the ball away in a dangerous position, and Hackney took full advantage at the edge of the area, driving that shot low into the bottom left corner. Half an hour to play, or to play for, as Middlesbrough come away down the right with Ealing Jr. as he gets to the corner of the penalty area. It comes through to Force. Force bobbles off Mepham for a corner to Middlesbrough, who are suddenly all fired up.
Yeah,
they've actually just won their first corner of the game.
Sunderland need to get a grip of it again. You know, just going back to that, Nick, we've had a couple of opportunities. We could have made it 3-1. Now it's back to 2-2. Balanced game to guide away.
So now Ealing Jr. plays it short. No, the referee's seen something in the 6-yard box. He comes through a word with is it Marcus Force? Force. Mepham's doing a bit of pushing. Referee Stephen Martin, all in black, jogs back out to the penalty spot. And it says he's keeping an eye by the indication of where his hand is to his forehead.
You've got to concentrate.
And it's taken long. It's an in-swinger here, and Job throws himself at it. He's hurt himself. He's picking himself up, and Bergstall shot in is cleared by 09 and nearly got Isidore away again.
Nearly away.
But it was blocked. And it's come out to Bergzorg on this left-hand side. Bergzorg back into the middle. Edmondson to Morris. Morris wide again to Giles. Giles back behind him to Hayden Hackney. Hackney, 22 years old now, out to the left to Giles, back to Hayden Hackney. And Hackney inside to Morgan Whittaker. Trying to find Bergzorg, comes back to Whittaker. A great tackle by O'Nien. Very, very good tackle by O'Nien. With the ball given away again to Ayling. Ayling now, trying to find Hayden Hackney. Blocked by Trey Hume. Comes to Chris Rigg. Looks for Joe wide on the left wing. Down into the Middlesbrough half. Job taking this on. Job striding towards the corner of the penalty area. Into the penalty area now. Red shirts all back inside the Middlesbrough penalty box. And it's played back out to Sirkin. Down the left, what lovely play by Lefay. Now he's trying to take it into the penalty area on the left-hand side. He's blocked. Plays it back out to Job. Job in the middle, plays it to Mepham, who's inside the Middlesbrough half, out to Hume. Hume puts a ball in the box, and it's put behind by the defender Edmondson, nearly past his own keeper, but it's a corner.
It could have been an own goal.
Easily.
It's end to end, isn't it? It's a tremendous tackle by Luke O'Nien on the edge of the box.
Yes.
He had to get it right.
Patrick Roberts then down to take this corner on the right-hand side, Sunderland's third corner. Their first of the second half. And only Dan Neil back up on the edge of the centre circle. And it's whipped in by Patrick Roberts. It's headed away by Morgan Whittaker. Out to the far side. And Morris plays it on to Ealing Jr. A slip by Rigg. And Ealing Jr. has got past him and is tripped up by Jobe. It's a free kick on the Middlesbrough right, just inside the Middlesbrough half, and Jobe's going to be shown a yellow card. It's his 8th yellow card of the season, incidentally, Jobe. So this free kick, Luke Ayling is going to take it. It's Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. We're in the 64th minute. And the ball across to the left. Edmondson down the left wing to Bergzorg. Hume tries to push him off the ball. Bergzorg inside to Hackney. Back to Morris. And then to Hackney again. Hackney into the middle to, well, Jobe. He's passed it to. Jobe is caught. Play on, says the referee. Wilson brings it down at the edge of the area. On his left. Oh, the keeper's made a save, and it didn't get his body fully behind it. It's gone for a corner.
Tell you what, he's done well there, the keeper, because it nearly went underneath him.
It nearly did. But the keeper picks himself up.
I tell you what, he's been booked already, Morris. And he's brought him down. That should have been a yellow card.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you're right,
Should
Morris
have been a yellow card.
I wonder if that's what Dan Neil is saying, but he's got to be careful here, Neil. Neil, this referee sent Dan Neil off earlier in the season against Burnley. And he's got the prerogative as captain to talk to the referee, but the referee's having some strong words, I think, with Dan Neil, who's now having to walk back up to the centre circle for this corner kick.
Tell you what, he got away with it.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. No matter what, that was a booking.
Well, I think he ducked out of having to make the second booking, I think. Short corner. Here's Roberts trying to get it back on the right to Lefay, but it comes back to Neil. He floats it down the right, and Lefay goes in the air rather theatrically and lands on his back. And I think the referee stopped play because he feels this is technically a head injury because he hit his head on the floor as he fell.
So just going back, they've counted themselves looking Middlesbrough. They should be down to 10 men. You know, and Dan Neil's saying to Regis Le Bris.
Well, he's down on the touchline now, yeah. Lefay, they're checking him out now. He hit his head as he fell awkwardly. Chelsea won, West Ham won in the Premier League tonight. And
Neto.
Was it? Neto. 2-2 here at the Riverside. Middlesbrough are going to make another change. Instructions just being delivered below us. I think it's Grant Ledbetter is doing the is delivering those instructions. Lefay's back up on his feet. He's coming off here. He'll be all right by the looks of things. Players heading back out. Stephen Martin as well, the referee. Ball clutched under his right arm. In the 67th minute. 2-2. Sunderland are going to make a change as well, and it looks like it could be Salis, is it? Who's been ushered back by Pedro Ribeiro. So Sunderland going to go a little bit more defensively minded as Roberts plays the ball back to Hume here, and Salis has just been called back and spoken to.
Oh.
Neil's just barged off the ball by Whittaker, and a free kick to Sunderland as Lefay waits to come back on. And Middlesbrough don't seem to be advancing their substitution at the moment.
He's been off 30 seconds now, hasn't he?
You think, yeah, easily, I think. He's still waiting, Enzo Lefay, to come back on. And now he's allowed back on. And the ball is wide on the left with Dennis Sirkin. And back to Mepham. And back to O'Nien, wide on the left. And now Middlesbrough preparing to bring on their second substitute. As Patterson plays the ball out wide to Roberts, who cuts inside now in the middle, trying to play a reverse ball here to the edge of the area for Isidore, who swings out to the right wing, plays it back to Hume. Hume to Roberts, taps it back to Neil. Neil away from Force to Roberts in the middle. Roberts rolling it into Sirkin in the penalty area on the left-hand side. He clips it back here. Joe trying to get on the end of it. It's blocked, a shot by Giles, and then headed out into the path of Roberts again. Roberts brings it down, edge of the area, and Patrick Roberts now, just a sea of red in front of him. He plays it back behind him to Hume, who crosses into the edge of the area where it's easily cleared and then put out for a throw off Burgzorg. And it's Tommy Conway who's coming on for Middlesbrough. It's not played since Boxing Day. Marcus Force is the player who he replaces. Former Bristol City striker, of course. 8 goals this season for Tommy Conway. He's been injured. He's come back on now. And we are in the close to the 69th minute. Neil on halfway to Mepham. Mepham on the centre spot. Plays it to Neil again. And Neil plays it all the way back to Anthony Patterson. Kicks it out to O'Nien. Tries one through the middle. Edmondson had to cut that out, which he does. Into the centre circle. Hackney brings us into the Sunderland half and plays it wide to the left to Burgzorg. Behind him is Giles, and Hackney again behind him. And it's slipped inside to Aidan Morris, the American international. Plays it to Vandenberg, out wide to Luke Ayling, down the line to Ealing Jr. and Ayling Jr. And it's played behind to Morris, out to Ayling again, inside to Morgan Whittaker, low shot, and down goes Patterson to his right to make a comfortable save. And Salis is going to come on for Sunderland.
He must be going to come on for Rig, is he?
You think so? Salis waiting in the technical area. Salis Samed. The ball is back with O'Nien in the 71st minute. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. We're on till 10:30 tonight. And here's O'Nien to Mepham, being closed down by Tommy Conway. Out though to the right wing, Hume. Rigg let it swing past him. He was looking to try and get it through to Roberts, I think. Now. And the substitution will be made now by Sunderland. Fourth official James Bell trying to organise his ball. You're right, it's Rigg who's coming off.
Substitution brought to you by 19 Environmental Services for Sunderland, going off number 11. Chris Rigg coming on number 20. Salis Abdul-Samad.
This will release Dan Neil now, won't it?
Yes, it will. Salis drops into that holding defensive role.
Oh, bad throw.
Aidan Morris gets it down for Ealing Jr. Brings it across this left-hand side. And now with Morris again, out to Burgzorg on this left-hand side. Inside again to Hackney, back to Morris. And Hackney just through to Burgzorg at the edge of the area. Salis forcing him out. Plays it back to Vandenberg, now to Ayling on the right. Ayling Jr. ahead of him. One back though by Sirkin's tackle. Behind him is Lefay. Lefay now looks up, looking for the run of Dan Neil. Neil drops over his shoulder and Edmondson gets in front of him. And Isidore almost intercepted it on its way across to the left, and Giles plays it on though to Hayden Hackney, and down this left wing again to Bergzorg, and Bergzorg now trying to cut inside and behind Hackney, back to Bergzorg at the edge of the area, bounces into the middle to Ayling, and then Lefay gets a touch, Joe pushes it away, Vandenberg runs onto it, down the right to Ealing Jr., who drives it straight at Lefay, to Joe, back to Lefay on that left-hand side. In front of him is Morrison, and a foul by Ayling.
Great feet.
Catches Lefay. Free kick for Sunderland.
He's a quality player,
isn't he? Just tricky, isn't he?
He is.
Now O'Nien to Mepham. Mepham up towards the halfway line, out to Hume on this right-hand side. Hume looking for the run of Isidore, cut out by Edmondson. It's a throw to Sunderland down the right wing. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. In the 74th minute, Hume with the throw. He's 20 yards from the corner. Finds Isidore, trying to flick it back to Roberts. Cleared by Edmondson. Whittaker gets the ball. He plays it out for a throw to Sunderland. Hume on the right, halfway inside the Middlesbrough half.
Has he got a bit of cramp, Wilson?
Yeah, he's trying to stretch, wasn't he, at the edge of the penalty area. In the end, there's no sign of him warming up. Wide on the left-hand side. It's played back by Lefay to O'Nien. Back again, tap to Lefay. Back to O'Nien. Across here to Mepham. And Mepham back across to Luke O'Nien. Still inside the Sunderland half. Hume in the middle. On to Salis in the centre circle, who lays it off to Mepham. And Mepham closed down by Tommy Conway. And Mayenda's now warming up. So whether there is a suggestion that Isidore might be replaced as the ball rolls out. It's gone for a throw to Middlesbrough in their half. Ayling will take this. Just over 15 minutes to play. 2-2, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Across the penalty area, the Middlesbrough penalty area to Edmondson. Plays it out through the middle to Bergzorg. His tackle fouled, says the referee, by Trey Hume. And the Suriname forward, who did have a spell on loan at Huddersfield, signed in the summer from Mainz 05, picks himself up. And the ball out to Ayling, given away to Jobe, who's fouled by Hackney. And a free kick this time to Sunderland, which Jobe pushes back to O'Nien. Then forwards now to Neil, gets it out to Roberts on the right wing. Roberts dribbling on down the right-hand side. Giles going with him. Roberts still has the ball. Roberts cutting inside, little short pass to Neil. Surely that's a foul on Dan Neil. Picks himself up, and then Salis penalised for a foul on Bergzorg. Ealing Jr. was trying to sprint away, a quick free kick, but Hayden Hackney takes it, pushes it across to Vandenberg. Ayling, and now Ealing Jr. trying to find Whittaker, cut out by Lefay. Salis gets it forwards to Joe, back again to O'Nien, and one of the advertising sheets has blown onto the pitch in Anthony Patterson's 6-yard box. It should be interesting if play continues. Now they've noticed that Hume's noticed it and put the ball out. Patterson's pointing back into Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. A couple of ball boys actually are coming to drag this advertising sheet back off the pitch. There's barely any wind, so I don't know how it managed to blow on in the first place. You can see how heavy it is for the two lads trying to pull it off, which they've done eventually. Referee's gone to check and he's asked them to push it back a little bit further, and it helps them do so. Hefty heave by Stephen Martin to throw the advertising sheet back. And he'll come for a drop ball. Will Tommy Conway throw the ball back to Bergzorg, who under instruction plays it back to Anthony Patterson at the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Into the 78th minute. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. Patterson's kick. Up it goes onto the head of chest of Edmondson. Gets it away now to Bergzorg on this left side on the halfway line. Hume takes a stab at it. Neil runs through, gets caught by Bergzorg, who's going to be booked for that challenge. A free kick just inside the Middlesbrough half on the right-hand side. Mienda still warming up, and Hume over the free kick.
He's going to come on Mienda.
I think he is, yeah. He's being spoken to by Pedro Ribeiro. Mienda will be Sunderland's next change, and it will be, you assume, for Isidore.
Good ball in.
Hume then with a free kick, curls this into the edge of the area, headed away by Edmondson, bounces away from Lefay, but he still manages to get it, brings it down, and Hackney's trying to grab him and pull him over, but Middlesbrough get the ball clear, only into touch from Aidan Morris, and a throw on the halfway line on the left, which Sirkin takes back to Luke O'Nien, and O'Nien back out to Sirkin on the left-hand side. Sirkin, short tap inside to Job. The 79th minute here at the Riverside, 2-2. It's all square. Hume across to O'Nien. O'Nien closed down by Ealing Jr., but it's played inside to Job by Lefay. Behind him is Salis. Lets it run on through, tap back to O'Nien, then Job again. Job back to O'Nien. Out wide to Hume. And slightly scrappy pass back to Mepham, but he gets it away to O'Nien, who's driven this upfield, looking for the run of Job. Comes down for Vandenberg and is tidied up by Ailing, back to goalkeeper Mark Travers. And now out on the left of the penalty area, George Edmondson to Giles. It played off Roberts, and the ricochets in the end take it to Hume. Roberts somehow keeps it in, and now taking it on down the touchline. A touch, was that from Giles behind for a corner? It's a good play by Roberts. It's a fifth Sunderland corner. Mienda's still waiting to come on.
Sorry, Nick, I won't be surprised if Mienda comes on for Roberts.
Do you think so? And they keep two up front. Well, they're ready to make the change. Roberts is going to take the corner from the right-hand side. Lefay is down at the right corner of the penalty area. Referee's happy now. And Roberts in swinging, is headed away though, and it'll roll out, come out to Salis, wide on the left, down the left to Job. He's offside. Free kick to Middlesbrough. Mienda's going to come on now. 81st minute, and is coming on for Isidore. Straight swap.
Substitution brought to you by High-Tech Environmental Services. Going on for Sunderland, number 18, Wilson Isidore. Coming on number 12, Eliza Mienda.
Mienda still waits.
Come on, Eliza.
Isidore is now off, and Mienda's now on. Well, Isidore, 10 goals this season. His 10th tonight in the 50th minute to give Sunderland the lead, but a lead that only lasted 9 minutes. Hayden Hackney equalised. 2-2 it is in the 82nd minute here at the Riverside. The ball floated down the left wing to Giles. Roberts chases back. It slipped inside to Whittaker. Whittaker's cross straight into the hands of Anthony Patterson. Sailed into his hands. He rolls the ball out to Salis. And now to Hume. Hume out wide to Roberts, just kept it in. Back to Hume. And Hume, short pass to Mepham. Another short pass. O'Neill and Sirkin again trying to get this upfield towards Meander, but it drops for Edmondson, who lifts it back up over the halfway line, and Mepham glances it back with his head to Hume on this right-hand side, and he drives it up looking for Neil, who'll claim he was fouled by Hackney as the ball swept past the pair of them, but the referee nor the assistant has given anything. It's come all the way back to Travers, the goalkeeper, and he's being closed down by Job, and now Meander as Edmondson plays it back up towards the halfway line. Mepham gets his head onto it, out to Roberts in front of Regis Le Bris. Forwards here to Salis, who's fouled by Hackney.
How many times?
And it's going to be a free kick to Sunderland, just inside the Middlesbrough half. Hume inside to Mepham, to O'Neill. O'Neill now, Conway goes with him, comes back to Salis. Salis on the left, just inside the Middlesbrough half, down that left wing, O'Neill. Sirkin's making a run, but O'Neill goes inside to Job. And now Lefay in the middle, laying it off behind it to Mepham. Mepham to Hume. Roberts is wide. Hume out to Patrick Roberts. Roberts now has got Giles in front of him, taking him on, going across the back of the penalty area. And Roberts still going across the back and slips it through, trying to find Meander. Comes back out to Roberts. Lovely ball from him, out to Lefay on the right. Lefay now slipping it into Roberts in the penalty area. Back out to Hume. Hume shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Took a slight curve around Hackney, but comfortably taken by Travers. It's still Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 2. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And the ball back with the goalkeeper. And Travers, all in yellow, plays out to the edge of the box where Edmondson and Vandenberg play it between themselves and up towards Bergzorg. Hume's all over him. Bergzorg's holding him off, but it's a foul, says the referee eventually. Free kick for Middlesbrough on this left-hand side in the 85th minute. Will anything give in the last few minutes? Poveda, I think, is going to come on for Sunderland. Jan Poveda comes back to Edmondson, and then Giles plays it back to the goalkeeper again. Travers is at the edge of his area. Morris in front of him, but Travers goes long. Conway will chase, but it's a forlorn chase. It's back with O'Neill now. Passing it out to Sirkin on the left-hand side. Back inside then to Luke O'Neill. O'Neill taps it to Hume, then to Mepham. And he lifts one over the top.
He's
looking for Meander. It bounces too high for him and it's caught by Travers, who rolls it out to Vandenberg. Out to Ayling, nearly caught by Lefay. Got it back to the goalkeeper, who kicks back up over the halfway line. O'Neill now, they're battling with Ealing Jr. O'Neill brings it down, spines Salis, and to his left, Sirkin. Forwards again, but Morris is going to tidy up here for Middlesbrough at the back. Job goes with him. Morris has taken it right back to the edge of his own D, and now to Edmondson in the penalty area. He kicks out down the right wing to Ayling. We're in the 86th minute, and there could be a break for Ealing Jr., but O'Neill's got back first and plays it back to Patterson. And Patterson kicks this out back up to the halfway line, wide on the right, nodded on by Giles, up towards Bergzorg. It breaks for Salis. They nearly lost it. He's won it back. Now finds Neil. Neil is caught by Bergzorg. The referee lets play go on. Roberts coming away with this now. And Roberts on the right, flicking it down the right wing. Poveda's waiting to come on. Edmondson takes it off Meander down into the corner. Plays it back to the goalkeeper along the goal line, who clears. Out to Salis, who nods it down straight to Morris. He gives it straight to O'Neill. O'Neill's trying to find Lefay on the left. Trying to sweep past Ayling into the penalty area. Plays it across.
Yes!
It's an own goal by Giles. Ryan Giles came to him. Didn't really know much about it and put it past his own keeper.
What
in the 87th minute.
What a touch by Lefay.
Fantastic touch and quality ball in. He had to deal with it. Fantastic. Excellent.
Sunderland go 3-2 up in the 87th minute. Ryan Giles can't believe it, but it came at him so quickly. The phase ball in.
I tell you what, he's quality. He is 100% quality. He is.
And it was... Job was in front of him, I think. I don't think Giles could see the ball coming back in, and he just turned it past his keeper.
No, he's come off him. He didn't know much about it.
He didn't know much about it, did he? He didn't know really anything about it. And it's Roberts coming off now. Pervader's coming on. It came through 2 or 3 players. He was unsighted, Giles, and it just came off him. His right foot, I think. It was left. Yeah, you can see he didn't know a lot about it.
It's a great finish.
So Sunderland now back in front, looking for a first double over Middlesbrough since 1962.
Managed the game.
Now they just have to manage this out. 89th minute now. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3. And Pervader's on this right-hand side as Middlesbrough trying to work it away down this left with Giles. Back to Hackney on the halfway line. Vandenberg out to the right, Ealing Jr. And then it's come back out for a throw to Middlesbrough on the right, on halfway. Nearly up to the last minute of the game, as Regis Le Bris just trying to encourage his players down in front of him. They've got to concentrate now. Whittaker plays the ball behind him to Vandenberg, just inside the Sunderland half. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3. An overhit ball across the pitch, sweeps across the face of Giles, out for a Sunderland throw. And Hume will take the throw. We're into the last minute of the 90. Regis Le Bris there just touching his forehead, concentrate, manage this, manage the game out. You're 3-2 up. Hume with the throw, pushed on by Edmondson. Now Burke's trying to get it on, but headed away by Salis to Job. Job now, Meyenda's onside on the right-hand side. Meyenda to the penalty area, narrow angle, drives his shot at the keeper, he spills it, and he makes a block at the second attempt from Meyenda.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
There will be another 5 minutes on the time. 5 minutes on the time. Brought to you by Group Industrial UK Limited.
Well, that could have wrapped it up from Meyenda. It was on the angle. It was the fact the goalkeeper spilled it, and Meyenda trying to put it in the second attempt. Travers somehow managed to get it clear. Throw taken by Hume. Neal's got it in the corner. Middlesbrough win it back. Bergshaw plays it off Hume. It's a throw to Middlesbrough on this left-hand side.
We've got to go back.
We've got...
Where's he taking the throw from?
Oh, it's been headed out again by Hume.
Where's he taking the throw from?
Giles has taken the throw 20 yards from the corner on the left-hand side. Edmondson across to Vandenberg. Played nearly a minute of the minimum 5 as Ealing Jr. tries to get away down the right. Salis just hammers it into the upper tier of the stand on the far side. We're into the second minute of the minimum 5. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3. As the ball played out to Giles on this left wing in front of Regis Le Bris. Back to Aidan Morris on the halfway line. Across to Vandenberg. Vandenberg wide to Ealing Jr. inside then to Hayden Hackney. Don't let him shoot. It's played into Conway in the penalty area. Trying to work it through. Sirkin plays it out. Clears it. It'll bounce out for a throw to Middlesbrough on the far side. On halfway on the right-hand side. It's taken. Goes to George Edmondson. Now push forwards again. by Lefay. Comes back to Edmondson in the centre circle. Out to the right again with Vandenberg. Wide to Ayling. Halfway inside the Sunderland half. Hackney back again to, well, eventually Edmondson in the centre circle. We played 2 minutes of the minimum 5. It's with Morris. Sunderland leading 3-2 as they push on again. Hackney with a 1-2 with Ealing Jr. Cut out by Sirkin. And Morris, who could have had a second yellow earlier in the game, has just fouled Sirkin, and he walks away from that one as well. He's leading a bit of a charmed life, I think, Aidan Morris. But Sirkin, I think he's clearly manipulating the situation as well, trying to take his time.
Why not?
Yeah, with this. Patterson, as Sirkin's got up and carries on.
Great, get it in the channel.
Free kick.
Patterson in the channel.
So now down the left, bounces over Job, drops to Ayling. He tries to hook it back up to the halfway line. Neil to Salis. It's headed away his forward ball by Vandenberg. Conway trying to flick it through. Mepham happy just to play it out into touch for a throw over on the Middlesbrough right in the 94th minute of the 5 being added on. Sunderland leading 3-2. Back to George Edmondson in the centre circle, taking this on into the Sunderland half. Giles is out wide. He drives it out.
That's
Giles.
out, referee.
Lino. Not giving it. Hackney swings it into the penalty. Ayling's header down, and O'Nien throws himself at it to head it clear. Vandenberg trying to get it back in. Salis got his head to it to Lefay. Lefay to Salis. And Bergzorg's down. It's played into the middle here. Paveda in the penalty.
Oh, what are you doing?
I don't know what he did. He put his ball over the ball, slipped over, and then fouls on his way back out.
Oh, what are you doing?
George Edmondson. And gets a yellow card for his trouble. Could have wrapped it up, Paveda. But slipped over the ball. He rolled his foot over the top of the ball, didn't he? And fell over. Middlesbrough come again then, over the halfway line. Into the last minute. 30 seconds or so to play. The ball stabbed out again by Sirkin on the far side. Sirkin heads it to Salis. It's won back by Middlesbrough, but Neil puts his foot through it. It's in the air. Job trying to get a foot to it, but he's fouled. Free kick to Sunderland. Seconds left of the, well, we played the 5, the minimum 5. Sunderland leading 3-2, and a free kick to Sunderland, which Patterson is strolling out to take for Sunderland. All the players drift up into the Middlesbrough half. A lot of Middlesbrough fans have gone. They've sensed it's all over. Sunderland's fans, you can hear them singing in the corner.
That must be it now, referee. Blow
Surely he's going to blow. Now he does.
Great result.
Sunderland record a 3-2 win. They've broken that wretched record they've had here at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3. Goals from Dan Neil, Wilson Isidore, and an own goal from Ryan Giles as Isidore leaps in the air, punches the air in front of the Sunderland fans. And Sunderland register a big win here.
And you've got to say, on that second half performance, they deserved it, didn't they? You know, and we've said time and time again that Sunderland grow into the game, don't they? It was a slow start, but as it went on, we grew with confidence. And there was times in that second half where we should have got the third goal. Some of the football which we played opened them up. And you've got to say we deserved that. We were the better team in the second half, by far.
By a long way. Isidore's at the corner flag. His shirt is off. He's saluting the Sunderland fans. Chris Rigg is down there with a Sunderland flag as well. And Isidore's removed the corner flag. And he's strolling around with the corner flag now. And he's got his shirt on the flag. He's hooked his shirt over the corner flag. He's put the corner flag back. He hasn't put his shirt back on. He's hugging Chris Rigg or Trey Hume, whoever's down there, and he's really making the most. No Sunderland fan's going to leave while the players are across there on that far side. He is milking the moment. He is dancing in front of the Sunderland fans. He's put his shirt back on, and his teammates slowly but surely they're heading off back down to the tunnel, but he and Chris Rigg are going nowhere at the moment.
Coming off.
They're partying.
You've got a shift in the lad.
They are partying in the corner, that pair, as they're applauded.
Huge result, Nick.
It's a big win.
Big win, and I think you've got to say the serious contenders for at least the playoffs. Maybe,
I think now,
hopefully,
automatic. The top four, the breakaway, the top four have engineered. I think that's without question now. They'll be in the playoffs, I think.
And again, you know, what we've seen as well is the character. You know, going a goal down and then getting back into the game, and then, you know, going 2-2. You know, they had the pockets picked, you know, a bit sloppy play, but they're stuck to the guns.
Isidore is still down, and he's going to climb into the crowd at this rate. He's surrounded by stewards now, but he's right down over the advertising hoarding. He's being hugged by Sunderland fans. He's being mobbed. He's loving it. Wilson Isidore, absolutely loving it. He's finally got away from the clutches of the fans down at the front of the stand, and his teammates, and Isidore as Mayenda now, who he likes the party as well. He's whipping them up. Here he goes. Mayenda, as he did the other week, he is whipping up the Sunderland fans with Isidore. As he too, now he goes again. Mayenda waves his arms in the air as he'll do this all the way back now to the tunnel. Here he goes. He's dancing. He's waving his hands in the air. He will come back a few yards, then he'll turn and he'll whip them up again. I assure you. Here we go. Here we go. Up he goes the arms, and he whips those fans. And Wilson Isidore isn't far behind him, doing exactly the same. Alongside Isidore is Chris Rigg. And finally, Mayenda's going to do it again. Here we go. He's closer to the touchline and the tunnel, but he will not stop doing this until he's out of sight of the Sunderland fans on the far side. He dances, he does a jig, and he will turn again when he gets to the touchline, I'm sure. He's got here down to the touchline, and there he goes. Hugs Michael Proctor, and then arms in the air. He's waved and rouses up the Sunderland fans. He has a little jig again in the technical area down below us, and he will now finally head down the tunnel here. So, big win for Sunderland tonight. Watford, 12:30 next Saturday. They'll have to do it all again. It's another milestone on their way to a hopeful, you never know, promotion this season. But a landmark victory against Middlesbrough, where their record over the recent decades has not been good. They've laid to rest that one at least tonight. It's finished here in front of 29,161. Middlesbrough 2, Sunderland 3.
New on BBC iPlayer.
How long have you been separated? A week. And how has that been for you? I want to know what happened on that night.
Please don't do anything stupid.
I think you're incapable of loving anyone apart from yourself, Nick, or Jason Orange.
This is utter madness.